Hello, my name is Manuela Yutrinita Pangaribuan. I will discuss about neurolinguistics. What is neurolinguistics? Neurolinguistics is a branch of applied linguistics. This field examines the relationship between language and brain, or the study of the structure of the brain that is owned by a person to process language. In simple terms, neurolinguistics is the study of the biological basis of language and the brain mechanism that play a role in linguistic acquisition and use. The brain regulates muscle activity in the human body, which indicates that the brain is the main position of the human consciousness. The brain will also play a role in every stage of linguistic expression that is faced even though it is not fully understood. Apart from neurology and linguistics, psychology is another central research discipline for neurolinguistics. Neurolinguistics has a very close relationship to psycholinguistics, but focus more on studies of the brain. Studies of language and communication after brain damage are perhaps the most common type of neurolinguistic studies. The interdisciplinary characters of the field. Which disciplines have to be taken into account in neurolinguistics? Brain and language state that its interdisciplinary focus include the field of linguistics, neuroanatomy, neurology, neuropsychology, philosophy, psychology, psychiatry, speech pathology, and computer science. Okay, about different views of the relation between brain and language. A number of different views about the relationship between brain and language have existed and still do. Some of those that have had a considerable influence are mentioned. The first, localism. Localism tries to find location or centers in the brain for different language functions. The second is associationism. Associationism situates language function in the connection between different areas of the brain, make it possible to associate, for example, perception of different sense with word and or concept. The third is dynamic localism of function. Assumes that functional system of localized sub-function perform language function. Such systems are dynamic and thus they can be reorganized during language development or after brain damage. Next, holistic, and the last is evolution-based. Right ear benefit theory by Yule. Language signals received by the left ear are sent to the right hemisphere, then sent to the left brain. Language signals received by the right ear are sent to the left hemisphere. The right brain is responsible for processing non-language or non-linguistic sounds like music, noise, traffic, and others. The left brain is responsible for processing language or linguistic sounds. All languages are processed in the left brain. The left brain is the center of language, but not everything is processed in the left brain. Analytical processing of language like sounds, words, phrase structures, and others are in the left brain, while holistic language processing like narrative, description, argumentation are in the right brain. About language areas of the brain. The first is Broca's area by Paul Broca. Said that Broca's area of the left hemisphere of the brain associated with oral language skills. Damage to this area result in discrete spoken language. The second, Wernicke's area by Carl Wernicke, said that Wernicke's area is in the left hemisphere related to the ability to understand speech. Damage to this section results in difficulty understanding speech. The third is motor cortex by Penfield and Robert. The motor cortex is in charge of controlling muscle movement, like moving the hands, feet, arms, and each other. Adjacent to Broca's area in the motor cortex for movement of the face, jaw, tongue, and lari. And the last, arcuate fasciculus by Carl Wernicke. Wernicke and Broca area liaison, coordinator of comprehension and speech relation skill. Damage to this area can lead to discrete coordination of comprehension and pronunciation or difficulty doing repetition, facial conduction. And the last, I talk about language processing areas word. Heard and understood through the ear are sent to Wernicke areas where they are transferred via the arcuate fasciculus to Broca's area to produce spoken products. Signals are also sent to the motor cortex to indicate body movement, hands, and facial expression. Words heard and understood through the ear are sent to Wernicke's area, then transferred via the arcuate fasciculus to Broca's area to produce spoken products. Signals are also sent to the motor cortex to indicate body, hand, and facial expression. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention and bye-bye.